As a form of summary, the sign for the cosine, sine, and tangents in the respective quadrant is given as follows. So in the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive, none is negative. In the second quadrant, sine is positive, cosine and tangent are negative. In the third quadrant, tan is positive, sine and cosine are negative. In the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, sine and tan are negative. Okay, and then to remember them, you can always use you see cut or cast. Okay, so we put a, so you can put c a s t. Okay, and then you read counterclockwise, cast. Okay, so cast, fourth quadrant cosine is positive, first quadrant all are positive, second quadrant sine is positive, third quadrant tan is positive, and the respective angle for the quadrant are given as this. So for first, we have reference angle theta prime equals to theta. For second, reference angle theta prime equals to 180 minus theta. Theta is always the given angle. For third, okay, reference angle theta prime equals to theta minus 180 degree. And for fourth, reference angle theta prime equals to 360 degree minus theta. Okay, so these are the respective formulas and how to use them. And this is the summary of the steps for finding the angles between a 0 degree and 360 degree. The first thing you do is to determine the reference angle, which is always the acute angle. You know, you are not expected to use calculator, so you are expected to find the acute angle first. Then when you get the acute angle, you determine the sine of the trigonometric function using cast. So here you can apply the cast method. Okay, so you don't need to find the ratio to it, and you just apply cast. And then third, the value of the trigonometric function of theta equals the value of the trigonometric function of theta prime prefixed with the correct sign. Okay, so that is what we have. So it follows like that. Okay, so let's see how it works in the following examples. Example 1. Find the exact values of cos 240. A, we have cos 240 degree. Follow the steps. Step 1, find the reference angle. So reference angle of this, we know that 240 is in the third quadrant, right? So the reference angle theta prime, I just want to analyze this, but this is, let's just follow the step that is required. So this is cos 240 equals to cos 240 minus 180 is in third quadrant. So in third quadrant, our reference angle is theta minus 180. Okay, and this will be cos what? Cos 60 degree. Okay, so you know 240 is in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, cosine is negative, so we put minus. Okay, and then what is cos 60? Cos 60 is what? 1 over 2, and that is the answer. Okay, so this is how you follow the step. Tan 135. 135 is in the second quadrant. In second quadrant, tan is negative, so this will be minus tan. The value of the reference angle there is 180 minus theta. 180 minus 135, and that will be minus tan 45 degree. Okay, what is minus tan 45 degree? That's minus 1. Okay, so and then C, we have sine 300. What quadrant is 300? Fourth quadrant. Then is sine positive or negative there? It is negative, so that will be minus sine. The value of the acute angle there is 360 minus theta. Okay, and that will be minus sine 60 degrees. Sine 60 degree is root 3 over 2. Okay, and that is the answer. D, cos 315. So cos 315 degree. What quadrant is 315? That is fourth quadrant. Is cosine positive or negative there? It is positive. So that will be cos, the value of the acute angle there is 360 minus theta. 360 minus 315, that will be cos 45 degree. And then cos 45 degrees equal to what? root 2 over 2, and that is the answer. So this is how to apply the formulas to determine the angle in each quadrant and to solve them. Okay, example 2, find the exact values of the following. You can see that these angles are given in radian, so first thing you do is convert to degree for simplicity, and then you follow the step from there. Okay, so A, we have sine 3 pi over 4. So convert 3 pi over 4 to degree. That will be 3 pi over 4 multiplied by 180 over 180 over what? Over pi. Pi cancels pi. 4 here, 4 here. We have 45. 45 times 3. That would be what? 135 degree. So that this value will become sine 135 degree. Now check, is 135 in the first or second quadrant? So the second quadrant, and sine is positive in the second quadrant, so the sine will be positive, and the formula for the reference angle is 180 minus 135. So that will be equals to sine 45 degree, and sine 45 degree is root 2 over 2. So that's the final answer. So when you are asked to find exact value, it means that you should not use calculator. Okay, you can leave your answer in surd form or in fraction form, but not in decimal form. Okay, so let's take we're going to do C as classwork. So the one we are solving now is B and D. So B, we have sine 4 pi over 3. Sine 4 pi over 3. 4 pi over 3 to degree, that will be 4 pi over 3 multiplied by 180 degree over pi. So pi cancels this, and then this is 60 degree. So we have 240 degree. So this implies that sine 4 pi over 3 equals to sine 240 degree. Okay, so which is equal to 240 is in the third quadrant, and sine is negative there. Okay, and the formula for the acute angle there is 240 minus 180. So this is equal to minus sine of 60 degree, and sine 60 degree is root 3 all over 2. So that's the answer. And then we have the last one, which is D. So pause the video and solve for C. We take D. Tan 5 pi over 3. Tan 5 pi all over 3. So 5 pi over 3 equals to 5 pi over 3 times 180 degree over what? Pi. So pi cancels pi. 3 here, we have 60. So 5 times 60, that will be 300. So this will be equals to tan 300. Okay, 300 is in the fourth quadrant. Tan is negative in the fourth quadrant, so that will be tan minus tan. The acute angle will be 360 minus 300, which is minus tan 60. What is tan 60? That is root 3 over 1, right? Root 3 over 1, so that is minus root 3, the final answer. So this is how to apply these formulas and find values in the surd form. Okay, all right, next example. So let's take two of this example while you do the remaining one as classwork. So let's take the first and the last example, and then you do this and this as classwork. So you have 3 classworks now, make sure you do them. So A1, so this is simple. Without using a calculator, state whether each of these is positive or negative. Sine 130, check 130, which quadrant? That is second quadrant, right? So sine is positive. So sine 130 is equals to sine 180 minus 130, which is sine 60, which is positive. So you don't even need to analyze, just give us the sign, whether positive or negative. So cos 255, which quadrant is it? third quadrant. So cos is negative there, that is minus cos 255 minus 180, and that is minus cos 20 plus 55, that will be 75 degrees, right? 75 degrees, so it's negative. So do the remaining one like that. So guys, this is how to find the angle, trigonometric ratios of angles between 0 degree and 360 degree, okay, and how to determine their signs. So you use your cast and then you use your reference angle formula, okay. So in our next lesson, we'll be looking at quadrantal angle.